Welcome back. We are here for Hissing Darkness, In the Wake of Secrets, Episode 4. Our characters are still in the Underhull, and taking a look at them, it looks like two are very perilously close to Ruin 5. And as we well know, in Trophy Dark or Gold, Ruin 6 is when you are completely lost to the environment, to the forest. Okay? Um, Given that though, let's have a little round of like, what do you remember from last time, or where did you leave off in our last episode, previously on as you were, and this way we'll kind of get it set up for what we're doing now. So, whomever wants to start.
Before we start, if I could ask, what was the set goal here again? I
The
didn't write that down.
the set goal is to gain access to the Fabricator-Forges to make tools that you will need to go further along in the ship.
So if I recall correctly, Paul was basically searching through the detritus in the underhull looking for the fabricators. I think I think most of Paul's action had been in the previous set when we kind of escaped from the hunter. And yeah, now we're here, and yeah, that's what Paul is up to, and I think he's also like somewhat concerned about the situation that Somni seems to be in.
Yeah, Somni is in what some might indeed call a concerning situation. She climbed up to kind of get like a higher view and to kind of be hidden there in the beams and the exposed like wire of the ship. But she encountered some like arachnobots or whatever we're calling them, spider nano robot things, who seem to like see her as one of their own. She has also, in the process of all of this, lost two of her mechanical arms, which we're finding out it was actually kind of important that she had four. It wasn't just there for like aesthetics or convenience. So she's like now just holding on. She's been pinned by web against the ship so that she doesn't fall. And these spiders are like on her and trying to communicate with her. While she seems to just kind of have like checked out in some kind of PTSD trigger moment. So everything's going great with Somni.
For Quixote, last session we saw them looking for the darkness and stumbled onto the corpse of Jerome. We were planning to just ripping Jerome's head off their mummified corpse and bring it with them for the rest of the adventure. He also managed to get the amulet, like somehow tracking Quixote. I'm sure that won't come back in any way, shape, or form. And we last saw them in set 3 as they were showing Paul and new companion ASRU 28. Jerome's head was being pretty upset about the entire situation.
I think ASRU 28, when we last saw them, had firstly established that there's another ASRU unit buried in the pile of scrap somewhere around where Somni is, and was going to set up try and I got a hit on my hunt roll to find it, but then also Somni got attacked and ASRU tried to help but didn't get there in time. So that was the most recent thing that happened there.
All right. So let's see. Let's go through. Looking at the other let's go through. Sorry, pull first. Like looking for the Fabricator-Forges, and then we will go through everybody else. I
So
think you
I'm
rolled well enough that you got it. I think that you found one of them, I believe. That's one of the reasons why I write down the rolls. Give me a second.
gonna say I think I think I rolled a successful hunt roll, but I don't necessarily think we did. Have we found the fabricators yet? I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember finding them.
No, because
I think we
I
did.
have you written down as you saw Quixote with Drom's head, and then that's where we left off. Oh my god.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about
And
that
I had,
lovely
didn't
little
give you
conversation.
I did not give you a chance to roll yet. So,
Yep.
we need a hunt
Yeah.
roll from you. Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna. So yeah, I think I think maybe even I think Paul might be far enough away from, because I think you described this underhull as being like a pretty vast area.
Yes.
So I think maybe and I think we probably kind of split up. So maybe Paul doesn't know what's going on with Somni because he kind of went off in a different direction. So yeah, he's put down his so yeah, he is like going through this area and trying to vaguely recall what he knew of this place, and I think he's going to pull down that Datasphere AR lens over his over his right eye, and is going to be using that to try to look for energy signatures, and try to do pattern matches, try to figure out like where this fabricator might be in here.
Okay, so you're asking the question for the Fabricator-Forges, and then you've got the piece of equipment to help you with this task. So go ahead and roll two die on the hunt roll, please.
I got a 6.
Nice. All right. So add that to your count, and then let's see what you find.
So I got a hunt token.
Yep. And then I think when you blip the energy signatures of the forges in your data sphere, I think you'll also get a readout about what these things usually do, if you
Okay.
aren't already aware. And I think for you, given your background and all, I think this information would generally come off as a general readout on the consoles in some way, but I think you're a little bit more tapped into this, and so I feel like the energy signatures mean a little bit more to you than to the others, because the Fabricator-Forges are generally, imagine like in this dystopian future in space, it's like they are the 3D printers or 4D printers, basically. And so they are general forges that you can feed any kind of technology to, some raw materials, some scavenged goods, whatever. And then it's enabling you to create some items that you need. You tell it what kind of tool that you can put in, and or suit or armor, and you can make what you need for survival.
Okay.
But they're, how to say, they've been changed by the condition of the ship with the dark, and so therefore they are able to create a little bit more than just the tools that that the regular ones are able to make, but they are also able to create some modified enviro suits.
Ooh,
So
that would okay. So I guess I will. So do I have to find stuff to feed in, or is there just enough like weird techno detritus around here that we can use that to feed in, or do I have to like find specific stuff to feed into the feeders to like to build the things? Because like modified enviro suits might be a good idea if we're plunging deeper into the depths. But at the same time, we also know, I know we need the tools we need to build to, like, fix the engine. So I'm assuming that we know what we need.
Mhm. Well, I mean, again, you need a base for it, or some kind of like offering. So I'm gonna say, like, if you want to give up like something of your found equipment, you can. Um, you can find some raw material around here to definitely use, but it will ask for an offering. Something of great
Well,
value, something that
okay.
you fear, something that you want. I'm giving you a hell of a lot of information for your 6, but
Got it.
just know, just know
Okay,
that this is what it's
that's
requiring.
cool.
Yep.
So basically, just looking at chat here. So essentially, have to exchange something valuable to get something valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very much so.
I mean, could I do this? This was another suggestion from the chat. Could I conceivably, I mean, I'll need to put some fiction around it. Could I basically, like, trade in a hunt token for that?
Oh yeah. Sure. Absolutely. So I mean, like, if that's something that you want to do, you can totally do that. So are you trading in one of your hunt tokens for
I think,
something
yeah, I think
specific?
I'm gonna. Sorry, just reading chat here. I'll just say it for the recording.
Yep.
The rules say you can use 3 tokens to solve a problem, not just solve a set. So we could conceivably solve that by if we wanted to pool hunt tokens.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. That's something that I, as the player and the GM, frequently forget about trophy gold.
Yeah. That's. I mean, like, I totally forgot about that too. I mean, like,
I can
usually
give you
people
some
use to
hunt
solve a set.
tokens. We
Okay.
have quite some hunt tokens between all of us, actually.
I think the caveat, as long as Mads agrees to it, we can do it. But Mads has to agree to the arrangement essentially before we can
I'm
trade them.
I mean, I'm
I
cool
was
with it. I mean, like, if you want to just, like, be able to solve that particular part of the set, that totally can happen.
So it sounds like we found. So it does sound like we found the fabricators. But using the fabricators as something else. So I would be cool with pooling. I'd be cool with pooling 3 hunt tokens among us to basically solve this and get the stuff we need from the fabricators.
Yep. I
Yep.
have 2 hunt tokens, so you can have one of mine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add one.
Who else is putting in for it?
And looks like James said he was going to put one in for in chat.
Okay.
I can also put my money as well.
We don't need 4.
But what if we get some bonus?
Well, I mean, like, for anybody, like, throwing in the 4th hunt token, it's like, I'm sure you'll find something nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's feed in 4, and then maybe we'll get some kind of, fictional or some kind of bonus. Who knows?
Let's put in 6 and see what happens.
I'm imagining we're, like, putting tokens in this machine and pulling the lever.
Okay, wait. I just want to see. Oh God, what? I mean, so I will offer I will offer, like, one of 2 things. I will say that if you pool, like, 4 or 5 hunt tokens, whatever you want to pull in, then you will get, like, everyone will have access to getting an Enviro suit. But I will also ask, what are you offering? Like, you must offer something as well from the character's point of view to be able to feed into the Fabricator-Forge to make this specific suit for the dark, to be ready for the dark. Okay, or one person finds something that would be worth, like, 2 gold, and then would let's see, there's
I know what I'm gonna do.
it's a it gives you a condition if you fail of basically an infection, but it's a very valuable thing that you can get. So, I mean, I would imagine like the Enviro suits would be the best way to go, but again, I will leave it up to you. I will still ask for the offering from each of you to have this available to all of you.
Okay.
Just a quick question. Is
Yeah.
it one offering for all of us, or is it one offering per player?
One offering per player, per character,
Per character.
right?
Yeah,
Per
okay.
character. Like something that means something to you or something that you hold on, let me just get back to the entry. Something of great value or something that you
I am going to pledge my allegiance to the machine gods.
okay.
I'm gonna go
You'll fit
real Dorothy with mine, and I'm gonna pledge my power core to have a better power core that will protect me because I need a heart.
sorry.
Somni will, I mean, presumably whenever she's not still in her current situation, if she gets out of that, but she will basically like fuse it with those mechanical arms, which are fused with her spine and nervous system. So she's basically giving it control slash autonomy over her body and her nervous system.
Amazing. Okay. Quixote?
So I'm going to just like duck my way through it and see if this makes sense. In my mind, Quixote values their allies. They might look about they value their allies, and the loss of Judom hit them hard. So I think that Quixote is going to offer Judom's head to the Forge and like see if potentially that could like give him like some kind of like like some kind of like suit for like the darkness. I do want to say that the idea originally had to potentially do this session was to potentially have Quixote just like bring Jerome's third head up to Sancho the Bleeding Flesh and see if they would like connect somehow. So I'm wondering if potentially could also do something like that with feeding Jerome's head to the Forge as well.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay. So given that you're putting in the 3 hunt tokens just to solve the set, just to resolve the set, let's do oh boy.
So wording of the question, sorry, Mads, what are we actually solving and what do we still have to roll for?
Yeah, I mean, like, you're essentially gaining access. I mean, Paul gained access to the Fabricator Forge for sure. And then, like, you are rolling essentially for success in your offering to be able to create something in the Fabricator Forge to help you, I would imagine. And that's how we're going to, like, fictionally position, like, the resolution to the set. But I mean, I want to get Somni down first. And let me see. Yeah, I mean that's the main thing that I can see here that needs to be resolved from last time. It's like getting Somni down, but I mean like Pole's made that big discovery,
I feel
and
like maybe ASRU should try and like rescue Somni because it's my directive.
yeah, okay, all right, let's do that. Let's do that in tandem first, and then we will go ahead and uh, you know have everybody make their offering slash uh, get their item or what have you from the Fabricator Forge to close out the set. So, Somni, you are But yeah, Poll, you got like a bunch of information, but not in the general readout as it would be for anybody else. I think you're also seeing this as kind of like mechanical memory or machine memory, like, gifted to you for melding with the forge. Okay, so Somni, you are hung up here, secured by the webbing of these creatures that you're talking to in some way that seem to align themselves with you. And you are just trying to, at this point, get free or make your way down. What do you think?
Yeah, I think as she sort of like snaps out of it, she will try to like wiggle out of the webbing and try to just get down and away from these things as fast as possible.
Okay.
And probably like shouting for help as well,
Okay.
even if she's fighting herself.
Right. So are we okay? Well, they are not necessarily, being aggressive towards you at the point, but I think that they are wanting to eat things, and what they want to eat is technology, or they want to like assimilate it. So I think they're starting to crawl towards your arm, the one arm that's secured by the webbing. I think they're gonna crawl onto it and then like try to assimilate it in some way. So we can call this combat. Just why not, right? And then if ASRU 28 is planning on participating, then that gives you like another die to play with. What do we think?
Sure.
Okay, so
Quixote could also potentially help.
okay. All right. So
Paul
how
would,
you?
but he's not there.
No, you've been engaging with the forge, and my goodness, another kitty! Yay! All right.
Yes.
So each of you that's participating, so ASRU 28, Somni, and Quixote, how are you exposing yourself to injury or attack?
Yeah, I think Somni's case is pretty obvious. I
Pretty
mean, either
obvious, yeah.
her technology gets eaten, and again, like she is like hooked up on constant medicine. So if that connection is severed, something bad is going to happen because obviously she needs constant access to this, and they're like literally on top of her trying to eat away at that connection. So
Yep.
not great.
Not good. Okay.
I
And
think
then
ASRU is quite slow and lumbering, and they're quite fast, so that's not a great matchup.
yeah. I mean,
So
and they
what
could see you as another food source, so that's even more fun for them. And Quixote?
From what I remember from last session, Somni and Ashlu are in an elevated position.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So Quixote like stayed below before like Ashlu went up to help Somni look for whatever. So Quixote would be underground, so that basically means that potentially one of these spiders could always like jump and Quixote, or they could just tear something off the elevated position that would fall on Quixote.
Okay, got it. Or drop something. Okay, got it. Okay, so each of you roll a weak point, please. Asru's weak point is 5. Quixote's 3.
3, 4, 5.
Sorry, I'm making notes here. Point, weak point, weak point. Okay, now just building this. All right, each character involved so you'll be rolling 3 dark dice, Somni, and then we'll see. And who has a weapon that they can use in combat first? So
Let's see.
I have my gun, my plasma sniper.
Sure.
Azru's hands are welders, so he can weld them with little flames.
Nice. Okay.
And Quixote also has an antique revolver, but Quixote could also potentially also just throw Jadam's head at them.
Let's try the revolver first. Let's try that. Okay.
Okay.
So 3 dark dice for Somni.
Well,
What the funge? 3 dark 6s for the recording.
Forest rejoices.
The forest
Somni is the little baby of the
rejoices.
group. You don't fight her. You
Oh
Hey,
my
lose.
I
God.
rolled an 18 intelligence. Oh wait, wrong game system.
Oh my
Aw.
God. Okay,
That's
all right. So
awesome.
did any of the dark dice match anybody's weak point? No.
Nope.
No.
Yay. Great. And so nobody gets
Wow.
ruined. Amazing. Holy
I'll be
crap.
completely honest. When Jazy made that sound, I thought she got like a 4, 3, and a 5 on the dark die.
My
When
God.
when somebody guesses, it's like, is that really good or really bad?
Yes. No, in this case, it is fabulous. Basically, the monster's endurance is definitely 12 or less, and yeah, 6 dark die on the combat roll. Wow, amazing. Okay, so yeah, nobody gets any ruin. You defeated the monster. Please tell me, like, how each of you are engaging with the creatures. So we're going to create them as a group, basically, that are trying to swarm Somni's arm, and like also like kind of remove the connection, try to removing their her connections to the medicine on her back. So I mean, like, each of you tell me, like, what your contribution does to help defeat the crawlers.
I assume that like somebody's going to get Somni out, so I'll let somebody else go first to see like what they're doing.
I think Somni gets a sort of ping on a heads up display that's like basically ASRU's kind of raised the ticket saying intervention, retrieve assets, and you see ASRU sort of clomping up the hill and has put the jets on their welders up to full, so they're kind of like about 10 centimeters, quite big jets, and just starts like cutting them in half and just keeps walking. And that robot thing where the arms just keep rotating and articulating in sort of impossible ways, like just keeps clomping up the hill with the arms just cutting. And you just keep getting this like ping of like proximity and like percentage of obstacles removed. And yeah,
And then
that's what ASRU does.
and Quixote.
Since we established that Quixote is going to be using the antique revolver, Quixote is just going to, once they see that Somni is in starboard, and knowing that they can't get there in time by foot, they're just going to take out their revolver, aim it at the spiders, and like trying like get and get like the shots that would neutralize a few spiders here and there.
I think you're able from your position below, you're able to get at the vulnerable underbelly and joints that are soft and squishy, so you're able to take them out that way, amazingly enough. So that's great. And then Somni, of course. You're right there.
Yeah, I think we see like ASRU reaching Somni and like rip away some of the webbing, and like Somni, like again, she's like a very small petite woman or like person. So I think that she kind of like drops on like one of ASRU's arms, like whatever is like the shoulder, like the surface, and like the plasma gun, like like it comes out of that one arm. And I think, like she once again gets like the pop-up of like ASRU, something like calculating probability of withstanding shock. Like he can already tell like this weapon is way too heavy for like this little thing. So like one of the arms comes up behind her and the shot goes off, and instead of like that really painful rebounds that we saw before, like the arm is there to kind of like take it, and it goes like all the way down to ASRU, and it's just like that perfect shot, like up somewhere high. Another steam like pipe bursts, there's like steam, and it starts flooding, and all the creatures just like in a panic start scuttling away.
Perfect. And then, like, Astro is able to, of course, take on the recoil as well. And so it almost propels you downward. But I mean, like, you're both able to kind of just right yourselves and then just kind of make up for the differential. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. All right. So now comes the test. Somni, please roll for gold. Hold on. It is, let me see. Endurance of the defeated monsters. I mean, like, I'm going to make this a collective 9.
Okay, let's see. I think that's a lot.
Oh my god, 4 gold! Amazing!
4 gold is not bad.
Not bad at all.
I think
Oh my
I've seen
God.
that once before, but that's probably the best. That's one of the best I've seen.
That is, I'm actually taking a screenshot because amazing.
I mean,
This
I'm
thing-
very
Yeah,
scared
I mean,
for Somni
six-
for the rest of the game now.
I mean, seriously, take a screenshot of that. Like, like rolled an 18 on 3 dark dice for an attack roll or for a combat roll, and then rolled 4 dice, 4 gold on 9 dice.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
It is very amazing.
Yeah, and I think Somni will just, I think everyone can have a gold. Even though like Paul wasn't here, I think Somni will still later on give him something that was found. Sort of this like, please still protect me.
Oh,
You
that's
know, like we
nice.
gotta bribe people.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so yeah, everybody take a point of gold. Like actually put it in your gold count.
I have
Amazing.
an
Thank
idea,
you.
if I may, actually.
Okay.
So, we don't need 4 tokens to solve the set, and I had 1 token, and I was digging around looking for another ASRU. Can I spend a token to find a bit of an ASRU worth of gold?
Yes, absolutely, for sure.
Like, like drag out a rusted piece of another ASRU.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I think,
so.
and I think I am also like by the Fabricator. I think while I was like looking for stuff to like feed into the Fabricator to do this, I think I want to spend I do want to spend my other hunt token to find a piece of treasure.
Okay. Alrighty.
And I'll let you tell me what I find.
Okay. Alrighty, give me a second. So, as I've said, like, in running multiple between campaigns, it's always a pain in my butt because I always forget what I give. So, if it's a repeat, I apologize. Let me see. Give me a second. Just gonna check your stuff. Your stuff. Found items. Nope, nobody has it. Okay, great. So, for ASRU, I think you find what looks like an attachment. It fits the ASRU units, but it's essentially a harpoon gun. It comes with like 1 jagged bolt, and there's a quick winding line to it. So like if you need to like shoot it out and then draw it back in, like, for whatever purposes, you're kiting a thing, who knows. But that's what you get. You get a harpoon gun added to your found equipment, unless you choose to, add it to the other stuff.
ASRU's going to attach it to one of the pods on ASRU's arms.
Nice. Okay.
And it's noticeably like rustier, and it says ASRU 13 on it, which was not lucky for that particular ASRU.
Oh my god. They may or may not have remembered or known how to use it, to be honest. From ASRU 13. Okay. And then for Pole. Okay. You are getting, or you're able to find the. Now, a lot of these things are able to have like kind of predator camouflage, but then only are visible once they are dead. So I think you're able to not only see, as you're scrounging around, you're not only able to find one of the Fabricator-Forges, which is able to make this stuff, but you're also able to drag out what looks like the dead husk of one of these creatures. It's a bigger one. So it's a biomechanical carapace that you can take off of this husk, and it can be fashioned into armor or weaponry as needed. I mean, it's like flat enough, even like if you found a way to like kind of like DIY like a harness or something like that, you could conceivably add it to your armor eventually. But for right now, it is definitely worth 1 gold if you
Nice.
choose to trade it in later. But yeah, that's what you got. Okay. All right. Give me a second. All right, now let's resolve everybody together, back together again. If you want to make comments about this, have a scene, please do, and then we will resolve the set.
So I think once I got the fabricator like located and like running, I think I will. I think I'll use our comm system to call the other members of our group, and I will say, I found what we were looking for. I found the auto fabricator unit, and I got it running. Meet me at coordinates. Meet me at block 17, level 2.
Let's
their
get a
readout.
green tick from ASRU, like it's like a approval that's just been ticked.
Lovely. I want to say that you're at the like kind of like at the edge of the beach, because this sediment, this slurry is like, pretty thick in places. I mean, like you could almost see them as like, little lakes and ponds here. So,
Don't want to take a dip in those. Ew.
Nope.
nope.
Yeah, I think Somni will also just go where Pole is. Also because she wants to get the hell out of here. This place sucks. It's awful.
Yep. we want to like use, so once we're all together, yeah, I think we'll so I think Paul's at the controls, and it's weird, and he's looking at the controls, and every once in a while the screen like shifts, and it's this like weird arcane like pattern that looks almost mystical. And when that happens, his eyes, when we see his reaction, and he shows just a little bit of modicum of emotion when he sees those, when he sees the arcane runes that just kind of like, the screen shifts, it's that, and then it goes back to like the command line interface. And he just has this look. He has this like look of awe about him when he sees that. But yeah, we'll get the fabricator running, and what we um, and so I guess the tools. I think you said, and out of character now, Madge, you said the tools that we were probably would be most useful would be these modified exosuits.
I mean, they can be, yes, like, for specifically surviving in the dark.
Got it. So that's what he suggests that we use this to build. This would probably be one of the more useful tools that we could use it to make. Because these fabricators, whatever is causing the ship to change is also causing these to change. It is odd and frightening, but also magnificent, is it not?
Do they see in your eyes, if they're looking, do they see in your eyes anything to indicate your background, Paul? Just for a second.
gonna say I'm gonna say if you look really if someone gets really close to an android and looks like really closely into their eyes, you can tell that the iris of an android's eyes has almost like almost like circuitry patterns. But that's one of the few tells. Other than androids just are known to have kind of flat affect. And Paul has definitely had shown flat affect.
I think Somni kind of like tilts her head and says, "Magnificent. I don't think so. I just want the ship to go back to normal so that everybody's safe. They're still out there."
Oh, they're definitely still out there. No, whatever. No, it's clearly frightening, and this whatever is happening here is clearly changing the purpose of this ship. And I am curious as to I am still curious as to what its goals might be. But at the same time, I do agree that we need to get this ship. We need to get this ship back into regular space and back to a, um, and back into regular space and bring it to a habitable world so that those of us who have survived this, can live in safety.
You think it has a goal? Whatever's doing this?
Its purpose is of no matter to us. We will defeat this vile villain and ensure the safety of the rest of the crew. Just as Quixote is going to like pull up Jerome's head up to their face, just as Jerome would have wanted from us.
Somni will shriek and immediately hide behind Paul's leg.
ASRU's just sitting there quietly, like just standing there. And there's that thing you see, that trope of just like gazing into ASRU's single red eye as ASRU quote unquote thinks. And ASRU's basically running calculations that whatever's happened to the ship is definitely making it more efficient. And ASRU needs to protect Somni and repair the ship. Therefore, ASRU must upgrade ASRU to ASRU 2.0 in order to protect the ship and save Somni. So basically, ASRU's figured out how to how to be a paperclip optimizer.
Oh my god. Okay. So leading into this, as Paul has explained how the fabricators work, I think each of you will see something different to say that the forge is asking for an offering from each of you, regardless of the raw material, regardless of the scavenged good that you're going to feed into it to make whatever, the enviro suit, a weapon, whatever you decide. The machine will look a specific way when it's asking for your actual offering. What you plan on pledging to it, along with the scavenged good raw material for the thing that you want. What does it look like to you as you feed in not only the material but also your offering? What does the machine look like to you?
And Paul is feeding in again the miscellaneous technical junk that he has gathered that for the raw materials. As he's feeding it in and he looks to this fabricator, it almost looks to him as if it is an altar to the machine gods. And as he is feeding this in, he is muttering kind of like under his breath, some he's uttering under his breath, um, a certain level, I mean, if you were just like listening to him, it might sound like he was just kind of speaking some technobabble or like, scientific stuff or cosmological, cosmological like calculations. But it's really an incantation, and it's really a prayer to the machine gods. And what he is offering himself, what he is offering is his reverence and his reverence of and allegiance to the machine gods. Because I got the skill that says machine gods.
Mm-hmm.
I think to Quixote, the forge looks like a grave where Quixote is finally putting Judom to rest, and without his doubt comes back to them, and they envision not just Judom that they're bearing this grave, but that they're bearing potentially themselves, their other comrades, and everyone else aboard the ship, as this voyage might not have the happy ending that Quixote would like to think it will.
Does that mean your Quixote is bearing a little bit of delusion? Maybe seeing something real? Like a real possibility? Potential.
Potentially.
Okay. What does Somni or ASRU 28 see when they make their offering?
I think to Somni it looks almost like a medical machine, like an MRI sort of thing. It looks like something that you need to go inside and you can't move and you can't look one way or the other. You just have to be there and you have to let the walls enclose around you and suffocate you and keep you safe in equal measures, because only when you are part of the ship, only when you are devoured in its stomach, in its bowels, only then can you be sure that they'll never find you. And she, like in her mind, she gets in and we see her bow her head, the black hair parts neatly, and we see that there are already like all kinds of scars lining sort of where the arms attach to her spine. We see the vertebrae like pop out from under her skin, and then we see the machine like sink in as she gives it access to her spine, and we see like the nanotechnology like fuse itself around her as she starts screaming. And I think the thing it will make is like that exo suit, but it'll also give her arms back. So she starts screaming, and we see like, and her lower back, her skin like starts bulging as if something, much like that membrane, as if something is trying to like claw itself out. And then into like bursts, we see what almost looks like bone, like her ribs have inverted themselves out of her lower back. Except we see like as it's sprouting out, we see all of these little, almost like those arachnobots. We see them like curl around it and create this metal plating and titanium alloy plating like over it until she has two new arms at her lower back. But it's very much like both bone and all of the like the titanium alloys. They don't look the same as the upper arms at all.
ASRU?
So I think basically what happens is ASRU is kind of led astray because ASRU starts with this sort of quite naive goal of upgrade in order to be better at optimizing tasks. And the Fabricator kind of keeps feeding new prompts in. And basically by the end, ASRU is like, I must ascend in order to, become the new ASRU basically. So ASRU, like a port opens on ASRU's back, and the Forge takes ASRU's like power core or core and pulls it out, and ASRU's kind of like turned off and just falls limp. And then it sort of weaves like all these runes into it, and it goes from like blue to red, and it becomes all kind of warped, and then gets fed back in again. And ASRU comes awake, and instead of like basically grows like kind of Evangelion style, grows extra eyes, and is sort of covered in runes now, and kind of like comes back to life, and suddenly looks a lot sort of faster and smarter and scarier.
Oh,
Can he
everything that you want.
speak now?
Oh, that would be cool.
Maybe in your mind.
Yeah. Oh, I have to give a Daft Punk song. Oh no.
I don't know mechanically. Like I'm basically giving up. Because I have modular parts. Like I can make the power core one of my pieces of backpack equipment, the fusion battery, and then swap it for some like evil fusion battery or something. Another possibility is to swap it for a ritual and increase my ruin if that seems appropriate. If you have any incursion specific rituals.
Yeah, basically everything that is listed under ritual is an incursion specific ritual, so
Awesome.
um
Can I acquire a ritual and also just be scary looking?
well, yeah, absolutely. Okay, hold on. I want to give conditions to Somni and ASRU, but I'll also add to your ruin for just taking this on. Give me a second. Oh man, for Somni, you can change infected by arachnobots into give me a second. Change infected by arachnobots into nano bone fusion. And then for ASRU, this sounds like a metal song actually. Evil Power Core 2.0.
Does sound like a really bad sort of death metal.
Nanobone fusion also sounds like a metal song.
There you go. Oh my god, this is like sounds so cool. If anybody wants to create a playlist for this, please do. Or maybe I should. And then for poll, especially because like you were doing like prayers to the machine. And then for Quixote,
Which also sounds like a metal song.
I know, I'm doing great. It's wonderful. Change your condition doubt into, give me a second. Change doubt into glimpse into reality. Man, I'm making a metal album here. Damn. All right. Awesome. Oh my god.
Exosuit thing. Can I just add like an adjective to my exosuit that it's
Yeah.
got like runes on it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just so it just to fit the actual goal.
Yep.
I had to step away for a second. Can I get a slide recap? Are we changing things, adding things?
Somni, I've changed your infected by arachnobots into what did I say? Nano bone fusion.
Yeah, I wrote it down. Nanobone fusion.
Yeah.
Nanobone fusion.
Yeah.
That is a metal song. Yeah, love it.
I know. So I've either been changing conditions or adding to their conditions, and so yeah, everybody's got some kind of metal song title into their conditions pool. You can hear this music now. God. All right. I want to address. Okay, so add to your found equipment or your combat equipment. Well, I mean, in Somni's case, it's like, definitely added to your whole exoskeleton. Change that into upgraded nano nano suit. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And then Quixote, I mean, and Pole, I mean, like, if you didn't already put it in as something that you're wearing or in your found equipment, I mean, like in your combat equipment, then go ahead and just put in your found equipment as um let's see, hold on, what does it say here? Modified enviro suit. That's what you would put it in as.
I wanna give a suggestion for Quixote, because Quixote fed in Dom's head to the forge. That would
Yeah.
remove Dom's head. And I was thinking, for the suit, instead of it being just like the normal suit,
Mhm.
because you said it protects specifically against the darkness.
Yeah.
And Dom was into the darkness. I'm thinking that perhaps it speeds out back Dom's head, but instead of it being a head, like it's transformed Dom's head into like this big like Dom skin cloak.
Oh my god.
It talks so that Drum can talk to you now.
God. Amazing. Yeah, so definitely replace Drom's severed head with Drom suit. Drom enviro suit. Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh, that could be creepy as hell.
I'm just imagining like Dom's eyes and his mask, like his nose and mouth are just like stretched out across the entire cloak.
If we get to a situation where it feels like Drom is talking to Quixote, it's like, out of character, James, I want you to tell us what Drom says. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Oh, God. Amazing. Okay, so you find yourselves, as each of you go through the forge in your own way to gain this the material slash the thing you came for, what was fabricated for you, specifically to you in certain circumstances. I think you'll see across the slurry lakes, you'll see across the detritus floating within it, you'll see that there's like, a set of big double doors, and you'll see that you're able to find what looks like a skiff. It's not big. It's big enough for all four of you to get through, like a hover skiff, and then it's able to skim the waters of this place to get to the double doors. And I think, good.
I think I'd like to do like a hunt dot, because I think I'm the only one that didn't do a hunt dot in this area. So rather on this skiff, can Quixote try and just like fish?
Sure.
Yeah,
What are you using to, like, your skill or your a piece of equipment to do so?
Go
And again,
magnet
you don't
fishing.
have to use it. You can just say it's like it's aiding you in this in this hunt?
I have a debriefing, so I must just perhaps just putting a debriefing and then just it was like just like halfway through and have like just like put like the head onto this water goo and then just like look around and like try and grab something beneath.
Okay. All right.
So, and I guess some skills discovery could technically be added because I'm
Okay.
literally just fishing in this
Okay.
goo or something.
All right. So two die on the hunt roll, please.
I get a token.
Okay. All right. Light 6. Wonderful. All right. So just add that to your token. And again, whatever you gain, you can totally ask me to, at any point to trade it in for something that you find. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think you're fishing this up and then you find something, but you can't tell quite what it is as the skiff is moving quite quickly. And so you don't want to fall out or anything to get to the double doors out of the underhull. All right. And I think you make it to the double doors and you didn't realize how big this vast place was until you got there, because these double doors like almost look like hangar bay doors, as if you could be going out.
Like 80
But
feet tall.
yeah, it's pretty big. And then you didn't realize until you look back, like how far you had come. You can't even see the shore that you were at when you first came into this room. But there are things that are moving here. You hear some clicks, you hear some groans, and you can't tell if that's partly the ship or something else or some things else. And as the double doors part, I mean it's a general monitor screen with some buttons, and I'm sure there's no problem in making your way into the next section of the ship. I think we see that camera shot of each of you approaching the door, lining up, and then kind of like panning across your faces. There is a light here, but it is a sickly light. It is a dim light that crosses your faces as the double doors open and you enter the vastness. And with that, we're going to take our first break. 10 minutes, coming back at the 45 mark. All right, so see you in 10. The vastness. If you thought that the underhull was large and humongous, this inner cavity of the ship is impossibly massive. You have found yourself on a dark platform. Looking down, you see what looks like the darkness, but the darkness has flow. The darkness has speed and current. It cascades like a river, a large, wide river. But aside from that, there is no sound here. It's quite still, quite cathedral-like, because all up and above there seems to be strange columns, twisted, warped, shaped. There's a blending of staircases, walkways, ledges that you are on as well, and then lifts that seem to go not up or down, but up and around and everywhere through the darkness. These lifts are the only means of travel through and around this place, while the abyss yawns and gapes below. Your set goal for the vastness is to find the sea of dark things. Sea is spelled S-E-E, which leads to the pathway to the engine. So, yeah, that is your set goal. Find the sea of the dark things leading to the pathway of the engine. You are on a ledge right now, a platform of sorts. You can see what look like obelisk stairways leading off of the platform towards these lifts that go up and around and over. What do you do?
Sir Jerome, do you perhaps see the dark things that we're supposed to see? Or are they just stuck to the skin cape? Doesn't expect an answer.
You don't get an answer, but you hear this kind of. Could be like a ventilator.
Too funny.
So I think Paul has this, again, he's got this impassive look on his face as he's looking around this room, and this is clearly not what he expected, and said, and says something to the effect of, um, no, this is clearly not part of our this is clearly not part of our original ship. I'm curious as to what could have caused this sort of temporal spatial anomaly. Um, this is truly fascinating. And at that, he's just going to kind of let's see. Basically, I want to try to like take in my surroundings and like look around and try to do some level of analysis of like what this is and where we are and what this is in relation to the ship.
There's an elevator lift that barrels past you at a hectic angle. That's literally the description, a hectic angle. So, that's one.
Question.
Yeah.
So
We see like darkness below us.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what is going to just drop one LED sphere that's turned on just into the darkness and see how far does it go?
Oh, that LED sphere is dropping down and down and down. It almost has no weight because it seems to float for a little bit and then all of a sudden seems to be sucked down faster than you can check. And it seems to be lost in this slicing darkness that's rushing past like a river. And it looks like the darkness has a mass and form. It is no longer just an absence of light. It's just rushing around and past below you.
Do you think I could potentially get it back, Sir Paul?
Paul says, theoretically, I suppose that is possible, but I think your odds of retrieving that are astoundingly infinitesimal. But
So
nothing
you're
is,
saying there's a chance.
but few things are truly impossible.
I'll take your
And
word for that, Sir Paul.
and so I think what I was like, I the player, what I was fishing to do with like trying to take in my surroundings and like do some analysis and like ask some questions is basically I want to try to do a hunt roll here.
Okay.
Like like what's what is like kind of like what is the nature of this like what is the nature of this reality and how does it relate to what I know of the ship is sort of like the question I'm asking. And I think I'm going to be using because this is bizarre. I think the skill I'm going to be using is ontology, which is the study of the nature of being.
Okay.
So if it's all right, I'm going to make a hunt roll with 2 dice.
That is correct.
I found something terrible.
Oh, goodness, so gracious. Love it. Okay.
I mean, I could have rolled Snake Eyes and it wouldn't matter because I don't have any hunt tokens at the moment, but that just means, yeah, we used up all our luck in the last set.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay.
So a 3 could, so, you know, a 3 on a hunt roll, I mean, it could be worse.
Could be much worse. Yes, absolutely. So, before I get to, well, actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna just give you this to start. I think as you are, musing on the nature of things and considering your scorched hand and your prayers to the machine, I think some of the shadows start to move, at least to your perception, and they become three-dimensional. Not just flat, not just an effect of light cast from what dim sources you have left. It seems to be a cutout of reality moving through space towards you. And I think it answers you as it shifts underneath maybe your hand in space. And you hear in your head in multiple directions, like not only in your oral cavity, but also like, within like the span of your processing unit. You seek your gods. Would you want the secret? Would you want a secret? If you would want the secret to your gods, you must accept a task.
We must accept a task to seek our gods.
Yes.
Out of character. Mads, that was super creepy. Anyway.
Do you accept the bargain?
I think Paul looks into the darkness and says, "What is the task?"
As you ask that, I'm going to head to somebody else, but add a condition: supplicant of darkness. All right. So while
Which is,
Paul
by the way, another metal title.
I know this is actually from the game itself, by the way.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's actually from the game itself. Yeah, you accepted a bargain. Okay, and then I'll tell you the task once I get through everybody else. What is everybody else doing as Paul is doing this nature of things? There's magic in the metal. Yes, there is. Oh my god, you have no idea. This part is absolutely creepy to me, and I'm reading it. Oh my god. Go ahead.
I think Somni gets like an audio file from ASRU, just sent as if it and if you play it in the sort of silence, it's just this historical audio clip, very badly degraded and distorted, like it's in a minor key, and it's just you know, emotion, fear and devotion, and really feel God. And it basically just goes, and then after there's a bunch of static, and then it ends. Isn't that right, Dorothy?
She kind of tilts her head and looks at ASRU and says, Yes, yes, that's right. You just have to follow the path. You know where it leads, don't you? You're muted.
That's good. I didn't quite get it right. The first I could stay young and triple and do it like it will zipper for the whole.
She keeps smiling, kind of like walks up to him or up to them and like puts her hand on one of the metal legs and says, "Will you show me the yellow brick road? You can find the heart."
And then you get one more clip that's, well, suppose the wizard wouldn't give me one when we get there. And then it's got, oh, but he will, he must. We've come such a long way already.
Yeah, and I think she's just like kind of smiling. I think she kind of thinks it's funny in that, this might as well happen. At this point in our lives, this might as well be it. So she's kind of delighted by like how strange it is and just smiling up at ASRU. Um, but still, I think also kind of urging them to go first, basically into the dark.
I think you feel as you're touching Asru and like making this connection and listening to this audio file, Somni, I think you're feeling this low vibration, not only in your, like, as an underlying current of Asru's audio files, but also within the organic bone mechanics of your new arms. It's like they're thrumming this chant that you heard earlier in the darkness. Reunion, rebirth, remake. Reunion, rebirth, remake. Reunion, rebirth, remade.
I think what Somni will do, if Azru kind of like goes along with her, I think she like one hand is like kind of clinging to him like they're a pillar. And you said that there's like all kinds of like ledges and like ways.
Ledges, staircases. There's lifts that are available going through what look like membranous um, chutes,
Mhm,
and they're very big. So I mean, like they could
mhm,
conceivably fit all of you in them, but they're going at weird, chaotic angles. Like it's not just a straight up and down.
mhm.
So you could
And
make your way to any of these elevators at any point, but of
and
course,
then all underneath us is darkness.
yep, flowing darkness.
And we have to find the sea that holds the dark things. Okay, I want to do something weird
I love weird.
because
Go for it. Just tell me
that's
what
how
you
I
plan on
love
doing.
it.
Yeah.
So I have an auto filtering canteen,
Okay.
and I want to basically like kind of do like the pirate lean into the dark as I hold on to Astru with my arms and scoop up like literally like I'm filling my canteen at a river, but with the darkness. And I want to see what it filters out. So I can know like what the dark things are and where the biggest concentration of them seems to be to get that
Oh boy.
information.
This is so risky, but we can keep it in a hunt roll if you want to find something, because there's always the
Yeah.
possibility of like terrible things.
Yeah, a risk roll later. I think we definitely set that up potentially.
Okay.
Um,
So you got the
so
canteen to help you, and then you're asking the question like, what the hell you're filtering out from
yeah,
there.
exactly.
So 2 on the hunt roll, please.
Absolutely. Okay. I rolled a 5. I'm totally fine with a 5.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Okay. Okay. So you do. Give me a second. Just trying to think of like how to pose this thing. I'm going to say that you, excuse me, you do manage to do this, if ASRU's like, willing to help you. And it's almost like, you don't necessarily reach the sea just below you or beyond you, but there are currents here. And then maybe as you're dangling over the edge a bit, maybe you are hearing the chant roaring in your ears. But you do manage to gather some of this stuff for yourself. And you find what looks like liquid shadow. It has the sensibility of what looks like dark gas that's like wispy and smoky above, kind of like what you saw with the membranous eggs earlier in the other hallways. But in this case, like in your particular canteen, it's filtering it down to what looks more like a smoky, viscous substance. So add that to your found equipment as liquid shadow. And Quixote, what are you doing as they work on this?
I guess at this moment, Quixote's I think Quixote is just sticking back at the moment. Like they don't see like particularly anything that they could do, and they're just waiting for the group to decide a course of action. But I think I do want to spend my hunt token just to get a piece of gold.
Okay.
I have something for Quixote to do if they want to.
Take a dip in the liquid shadow.
I think given that I have this liquid shadow, many things in the world try to sort of, when taken out of their natural environment, they try to go back to it. So naturally, sort of following that logic, if we unleash this shadow again, it wants to go back to where the dark things are, to where the other shadow pieces are. So we could follow it as like, a firefly or a fox leading it to his lair. Now, Somni doesn't want to do that, but perhaps our resident hero might want to do that.
Yeah, okay. Turning Quixote into a bloodhound, I see.
Mm-hmm. I think like Somni kind of explains it, like we could follow this.
And Quixote would just completely agree with this course of action. I still want to use my hunt token to get a piece of gold, but Quixote will absolutely like follow Somni's plan because Somni is an engineer. She's smart.
Okay.
That's how it
I'm just
works,
trying-
yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
I really am playing like Trophy Dark, and I just did a reduction
No,
roll,
because
but
this just
listen,
totally sinks into it, though. I mean, like it's great. I love this game.
It's a cool plan. It's a
It
good
is such a
plan.
cool plan. Oh my god. Okay, let me deal with the hunt token first. So you traded that in, and I think what you're finding, just as Somni is gathering the liquid shadow in the canteen, I think you find your own fragment of the darkness. And It's different in this case. It's like a shard that you know through the Drom cloak, Drom form that you wear, that it can also be used as a power source. So you want to call this found equipment Dark Thing Communion. Fragment of the darkness to be taken into oneself if you so choose. Dromware. God. Yes. Exactly. Okay. So refresh my memory on the plan before I unleash the what the task is on Pole. And ASRU, I'm sorry. It's like if you wanted to do something plus helping Somni, that would be, just let me know.
I think that ASRU now can sense that they were previously having trouble like connecting to the network, but now they realize that they were just using the wrong frequency. So ASRU's gonna try and ping the darkness.
Okay.
Because we want to know how to get to the heart of it, and it's not Euclidean in here.
Oh no,
So
absolutely not. Okay. So let's see. You have
I have a
you have
direct neural interface, Kit. That's totally legit, right?
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, you're just creating more fun for me. Oh boy, give me a second. Neural interface. There is some special things in here. That's why I'm trying to make sure that I have this correct. Give me a second. All right, well, let's see how bad it is. So go ahead and do a hunt roll since you're using the direct neural interface kit and you're trying to find your way to the say.
What could possibly go
Yep.
wrong?
2 dice, please, on hunt.
I got a 5.
You sound disappointed.
I wanted a 1. No, I don't know. I don't know why I sounded
You still
disappointed.
get a token. It's fine, but you
Hey,
encounter something.
you're still finding something terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So it's still good.
Add a
I
dark
wanted
dice until
something
you get all
terrible.
ones.
Oh my god. Oh god. Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna borrow a little bit from a previous game. Since ASRU gets readouts and feeds differently from the rest of the characters, I think your processing is getting lines of code, but these codes are not just the usual binary type of things, but also some of these sigils that have worked their way through the ship from the darkness warping it. And one of the things that comes through, like as an audio file, but only heard for you, ASRU, is something that sounds like passive, artificial, listening, observer. And the readouts start to say, Do you want power? Do you want knowledge?
I think ASRU just sends back a prompt and says, Priority 1, protect Somni. Priority 2, restore the function of the ship so that the voyage may continue.
If a machine could laugh, you hear. Complete a task for us, and you shall perform your directives.
Super user recognized.
Do you accept?
Enter super user command.
Condition: Supplicant of Darkness. Okay, so
Join the supplicants of join the supplicants of darkness cult. Join the supplicants of darkness cult.
That's a metal song title in itself. There you go. So before I give them something terrible, well, actually they did encounter something terrible. But before I give them their tasks, Quixote, what are you doing? Are you enacting that thing that Somni was suggesting?
Yeah, Quixote is enacting Somni's plan. I'm
Okay.
just following this piece of liquid shadow that me go.
Okay. All right, so we can call that like a piece of equipment, unless you want to use a skill here. I want to call it risky because it's like, exactly how are you following this thing?
Well, Somni let it out of its canteen jars, and I'm not sure like exactly how it's making its way back towards like the greater darkness. But Quixote is just like following it behind like a dog would.
Oh yeah, definitely risky for
Yeah.
body, to start, just to start. Oh my god. Yeah, so what do we think can go wrong in following the darkness? I'm asking everybody.
I mean, a very easy one is, this does not seem like a super stable terrain to walk on. You just fall in.
The darkness decides that you must be tested before you can reach your destination.
The darkness wants you as a sacrifice.
Okay. All right, so light die for something you are skilled in because of occupation or background, or you have useful equipment. You're following the shadow thing. We can call it that. Dark die, of course, because you're risking body to start. Never mind the mind just yet. And then, all right, our favorite part, devil's bargains. No matter what happens to Quixote? I already come up with one. So this is the combination of your culmination of your two conditions with Sancho. I think no matter what, I think Sancho will fall into even further into this melding with the darkness, and will if it can't bring you into the darkness, it will take on some of the darkness. So you're going to have essentially like a darkness beacon pulsing on your arm with Sancho.
Mine is no matter what, you reach your destination and find an altar and the techno amulet waiting there for you.
No matter what, Drum's spirit suffuses your drumware and starts talking to you.
No matter what, you will always, like, just out of the corner of your eye, or like just too far to pinpoint where it is, but you'll always hear someone scream for you to save them. There's always someone who needs your help, and you can never find them.
Which one of those do you want? Or none of them. You don't have to take it. You just won't get that light die.
I think I'm gonna do what I did last time and save on all of them.
Oh, the people like that you see or hear that will call out for you to save them.
I mean, I want all of the no matter the devil's bargains. So the people calling out for help without ever apparently being in reach,
Mm-hmm.
the return of the techno amulet, Judoma apparently hunting Quixote, and the piece of darkness that attached itself to Sancho.
You only get the one die, just so you know, all right?
But also good. I cannot choose.
Okay. All right. Oh goodness. Oh gracious. You just want to fall into the darkness, I'm telling you. All right. Which could also be a metal title. Go for 2 light, 1 dark on a risk roll, please.
I got a 6 on the light die and a 2 on the dark die.
You still rolled a 6, so you succeed. You're following the pathway of this shadow thing. Since we're involving all of the devil's bargains, I'm gonna say that Sancho was able to help you in following it, because I mean it's almost like you can see the brand, the glowing sigil of the techno amulet, like kind of shining on Sancho, but then Sancho is also reaching and helping you like go through the darkness and follow this shadow thing very, very easily. And what does Drum say as you're following successfully? That's your cue, James.
Just thinking about it. I think you hear you have listen the branches. Yes, so yeah.
I'll be honest, I missed some of that.
Yeah, you just want to open up the your hands just a little bit more, James.
Basically, it's like the emanation approaches. So get in.
Encouragement from Drum. What a friend. But then you're hearing a scream in the further on in the darkness, maybe past one of the speeding lifts. Maybe you hear a scream saying, "Help me! Help me! I'm lost! Please, please help me!" On all of that, but you do succeed in finding. I will say that the pathway leads you to one of the lifts, so you know that one of the lifts will help you towards getting closer to the say, for sure. Okay. Let me yeah, as we're entering the last part of this, let me give the tasks to Paul and then ASRU. As you become a supplicant of darkness, Paul, it is saying to you, you want to find the navigation system. You want to find your way to the engine. We require sacrifice. It can be you, or it can be a companion. When the time comes, the engine will exact a price. You will be needing to pay it any way you can. And then,
At hearing that,
yeah, you're going to see a gleam of something behind your eyes. Whatever symbol that you feel is very strong in your machine gods, that is the symbol that burns itself in darkness behind your eyes.
Paul glances at Quixote and then looks back at the dark into the darkness and says, "I understand."
And ASRU, let's see. Think. To serve us is to serve the darkness. Find the dark matter gospel. Return it to the exiled dark thing. The dark matter gospel needs to be returned to where it came from. That is the task.
For this task, repair the ship.
Yes.
Will this
Yes.
task protect Somni?
Yes.
No conflict.
No conflict. And then I think that covers everyone. I mean, if everybody is following Quixote. Quixote, do you tell them that you found that that you found a way, or at least towards closer to the Say?
Yeah, Quixote will just turn to the rest of the party and just like, I think this elevator will lead us towards the Say. That's at least what Sancho and Jerome are telling me.
I think it's very apparent to all of you that are looking, this Sancho thing that is on Quixote's arm is throbbing. And you may or may not see, depending on your closeness to the darkness, you may or may not see the techno symbol that is embedded or branded into it. This throbbing thing. Do you follow?
Somni
Well, I
will,
mean,
but only because she saw the darkness thing, like not because Quixote, because nah, she doesn't want anything that has to do with them. But she did see her plan sort of bring it to the logical conclusion. So yeah.
we're on the yellow brick road going to the Emerald City, so obviously.
I suppose the question then is, what indeed is behind the curtain?
There's only one way
I,
for us to find
I
out.
see. I see no like looking like Paul with his like constantly impassive face, like looks at his companions and says, I don't have a better option, and gestures toward Quixote to like lead us on.
Let go, said Paul. Then let us commence onwards to glory. And Quixote will just march towards the elevator.
I think as you all enter into the lift, that looks like it has an impossible path further into this place, into this vastness. I think as the door closes behind you to the lift, I think we hear this strange echo in the stillness, and it sounds like a distorted soundtrack, and it sounds like I only had a brain. And that's where we're going to end today's session. So,
I just realized if the entire party is following Quixote from behind, that means they're constantly just staring into the outstretched face of skin cloak Jerome.
horror. My gosh. All right. Stars and wishes.
I can start. First of all, wow. Second of all, stars all around. I think we're just getting creepier and creepier. James, giant star for you for bringing in all the Wizard of Oz shit. That's fantastic. I love it. It works so well in this game. Dom, this is not the first time, but every time it seems like every time you're offered a risk roll and like, well, let me hear some devil's bargains, and you get like 4 devil's bargains, your answer is yes. I will take them all. It's like, oh my god. It's like, oh, come on, darkness. I know you want to take me. I want you to, like, delicious darkness. You're just like walking headlong into ruin. And also just the utter creepiness of like using the body of our dead compatriot. That's just so it's so just deliciously wrong. I love it. It's just amazing. Jazy, the having Somni inside the fabricator when you said it kind of looked like an MRI. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking to myself, oh, this ain't gonna end well. And just the way you described that body horror, I was like, ugh! Like, oh, it's like, okay, this whole adventure, I'm absolutely getting like an Event Horizon, but if that movie had a much higher budget. And Mads, your voice is super amazing, and just you just did a fantastic job of just like bringing on the creep factor in this really bizarre sci-fi environment. As for wishes, I just want to see where this goes, because I really don't know. I don't know, and I still don't know what supplicant of the darkness means on my condition. But we're gonna play to find out. I want to find out.
I guess I can go next. So for starts, to echo what Mike said, starts to march for the impressive voice acting work and just setting up the scene of the vastness as well as the underhole. Mick starts again to Jazy for the entire Forge scene. Great creepy, and I do kind of like how it seems like that we've gotten to a point where I think Somni might start being the most normal character that we have. Let's see, yeah, because to James for us and just like having us like upgrade itself towards this seemingly more sentient evil robot. I'm not sure exactly when the whole evil keywords for it as to, but I'm doing it. And also so big as to make with Paul and just how it seems like Paul finally had enough of being the normal one and just said, you know what, let's just accept the darkness fully. That will put me back in the whole creepy and unnerving angle I wanted from the start. And I am looking forward to seeing how Judas, I mean Paul, is going to just backstab the party at one point. Potentially. And I guess Vicious, I just want to see where this goes. Like we've got like this very unique crew, and I just want to see like how I'm kind of like just how to say it. I'm kind of convinced that we're all going to fight ruin. To be honest with you, I don't think we're getting out of this place alive, but I'm looking forward to seeing how we fall. Also, Matt, should I taken any conditions for the the 4 Devil's bargains I took?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Hold on. Well, no. Hold on. You know what? Add to your conditions by saying, and this is a great title, I think, Crying for Ruin.
Next, I guess I have. In terms of stars, to be perfectly honest, the whole thing was a star. I don't actually think there's anything that wasn't a star. So the star is like literally everything. Um, so mostly it leads to wishes, which is like I feel like my wish is I want us to go out in a really trophy dark way, but also in a really trophy gold way. So my wish is I want a big set battle. I want to fight. I want something really trophy gold, and I also want to contest roll. That's my wishes. I want us to kill each other. I also want to have a big set piece like trophy gold experience. And also like I just love the sort of everyone's sort of utilitarian embracing of essentially like evil beings from the void to achieve their goals, and just like it just seemed like a perfect, except for maybe Quixote, who's a bit more kind of erratic in that way. I think everyone else is just doing it for utilitarian purposes, and it's just this sort of gradual, like a frog in a pot kind of thing, like a gradual kind of uh corruption. So, but I've enjoyed our little trophy gold moments, like literally just winning at combat in the best imaginable way. That was an extra star on top of the star, and also Mads's creepy voices and everyone's individual series of like quite brilliant decisions, and like I just thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, echoing, I thought this was a very strong session. I love how we're now just like fully in cosmic horror vibes. Like the ship setting is gone. The whole like even the feeling of like being restrained and like in that isolated space is gone with like the vastness of the darkness. Like it kind of feels like we're on an alien planet at this point and no longer in the ship. And I really kind of like how that developed, and like if you do that immediately it feels very jarring, but we've come like so far that it's kind of like yeah, sure, I guess this is happening now. And I think that had like a effect. I felt like everyone in their own like subtle ways like really sort of played up that effect of the mental toll that this all must be taking on them. Like, where even are they right now? And I thought that was really interesting. Um, yeah, James, I love how you're playing up like ASRU wanting to help Somni, because I really get like that. It really feels sort of like the first act in like any sci-fi movie where the AI is like getting a bit too obsessive about their humans. And you just know that at like some point this system is going to decide something like wildly insane, like, oh, the best way to protect you is to just kill you, or the best way to protect you is to blow up the whole ship or something, right? And I just love how you like built that, and then like the whole muffled Wizard of Oz is like just inherently creepy to take like something out of context like that. And I thought that was a really clever way to do it. Um, for Mike, yeah, I love how Paul is just like, well, this is fascinating. Like the most horrifying of shit. It's so funny to me. And I love how that plays in both like the doctor angle or like the scientist angle and the android cyborg angle, where like, yeah, this might as well be fascinating. Um, I really think that's a very interesting like approach that you're taking here. And I love that like character wise, it doesn't feel like Paul has changed. It just feels like we're seeing more of him, right? Like it doesn't feel like he has changed like the way Quixote or like Somni has character wise. It just feels like, oh, we're kind of just seeing through it now. We've spent enough time to realize that this is not cool. This is not okay. Like the environment has changed and we realize how out of place it's been the whole time. And I kind of love that recontextualization of a character. Like I think that's a really cool way to approach horror. Um, for them, yeah, I love how Quixote was like, well, if I just have to research things, I can't do anything. In like the last set, I was just kind of like, I imagined them like kind of pouting around, like, oh, give me something to do. I don't want to think or research. I want to do something. And then immediately falling like Somni's totally batshit plan, like, hey, follow this thing into the dark. And immediately being like gung ho for it. I thought that was very interesting. And it also gave me like a very interesting opportunity to make Somni like a little bit manipulative in how that she's been approaching people, like, you know, with ASRU programming them, and sort of it almost feel like she realized it wasn't quite working with Paul, so they kind of abandoned Paul and is now like looking for the others because it's working better. And I think that's, I really like playing these characters who are like genuinely sweet and fragile, but also have like that nastier edge to them where they will use people to get what they want and keep themselves safe. So that was really fun to kind of play that up and have it work. Um, and for Mets, yeah, the voices, absolutely, I loved it. I also loved your approach to the rules here and like trying to see like, okay, what are we going to do with the hunt tokens? We'll resolve this and this and this, because it can get overwhelming for a GM to like keep tabs on it all and make it flow nicely. And I think you did very well on that part. So definitely stars. And wishes, yeah, I mean, echoing, I want to see where it goes. I kind of want like one person to make it out, just because that in itself is like the last survivor is like a very horrifying thing to be. And that gives like the story to me like a bit of like it can go further. There's like something left of it. Um, I'm also, that being said, I'm also very interested to see like what's gonna be the last straw? How are these people gonna go, because I don't think that any of them is just gonna die. Like it's gonna be way worse than that, right? So I can't wait to see how the darkness gets them. Um, and I'd love to get the sibling back in. I think we've like very righteously so like kind of let that simmer for a few sessions now, but I think now that we're nearing the end, we're getting deeper into the dark. I really want to see like what is that chant about and what is the whole sibling situation about? Like what happened to those survivors? even if we don't get a full answer, because I don't think that we should, but like, what are the hints? What are the signs?
I love it. I love it all. I mean, yeah, you guys leaning in, doubling down into this particular section, and even coming out of the underhull was awesome, and I just loved it. Yeah, I mean, I agree with James. Like, this whole thing was a complete star. I wasn't sure where things are going, and that's one of the reasons why I love Trophy so much, is just because it's like, you guys help with creating the environment even around you, like between your actions and your choices. And everybody did just so well in terms of just creating more, more darkness and ruin and just opportunities for things to get really wackadoodle. So I loved it all. Yeah, wishes are just again to try and feed more into your drives. I mean, yeah, we'd kind of just like let that sibling thing go, but I mean things were just getting so damn weird that I mean I just felt like, well, where the hell am I gonna put that? You know what I mean? So that was amazing. And then everybody else is like still trying to feed into their drives, like finding the engine, finding the navigation, like trying to bring the ship to a better place. I don't know what that means. At least not in this particular iteration of here. So we'll see if there's any survivors, whether it be original or new character. Who knows? Who knows? And just as a reminder, Mike, I think you said you're not able to make the last session. So if that is still the case, then like make sure next session, like you bring Paul out on an immense trophy dark high, I guess, whatever you consider that to be, or take him as far as we go, and then we'll just do epilogues or what have you for him at the end of next session. But it'll be your choice for how you want to handle that. Or we can work it out offline. That's perfectly fine too. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what happens with these characters, because there's two of them that are serving the darkness at this point, and then another two that are very close to the darkness, whether they realize it or not. And I love it. My goodness. And this is what's killer to me, is the fact that, I mean, if you hadn't met some burdens, then it's like, you'd have to come back into this place and do more searching. Oh my God. To succeed. So yeah, I'm excited to see how everything pans out for the penultimate episode next time, and then also for the final, for whomever makes it to the final. Oh my God. Yeah. So thank you all so much. I was not sure how this was going to go. I wasn't sure how I was physically feeling, but you've just kind of given me a lot more inspiration and a lot more energy just by leaning in. Thank you so much. This is great. What a great start to my morning. I love it. So have a wonderful week. Happy gaming for all the other things that you're doing for your games, and I will see you next time. Oh my gosh. See you. Bye.
See you.